What's up, demons and demonettes? Tis I, Atraxi, Demon Queen, and today we're talking about the latest installment of Heroic Gauntlet. But before we get into it, as always, toss a like and subscribe down below. Alright, so let's talk about the mode. There are 7 difficulties this time. Again, the rewards are a lot of Crimson Essence. We get some all-hero recruit tickets, some Velvet Voucher tickets, and then a couple Twilight Essence at the end. So if you clear 7, it's not the end of the world, because 7 is rather difficult, and getting through 1 through 5 is pretty easy. So let's talk about the abilities. As you can see, this is the Twisted Corrupted Creature. You may better know this as the Teleweed because you've seen it on stages, and it is an annoying mob to have to deal with. It does a Psychic Bolt that does a decent amount of damage, and then its ult is it ports your heroes up into the air and then tosses them across the screen. Now, it's not going to ult here, but it's going to have a similar ability. The ability it's going to have this time is Phantom Dance. When taking non-normal attack damage, it gains immunity to the damage and flashes to a tile farther from the enemy. This effect can only be triggered once every half second. Psychic Control. This is the second half of the ability. After triggering Phantom Dance 10 times, it'll throw all enemies and immobilizes them for 5 seconds. So it tosses them up in the air, similar to the Telethrow, except it holds them there for 5 seconds. Every time he casts this, he'll increase the next cast of it by another 5 seconds. So the first one will be 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. You're screwed. Alright, so let's go into it and look at the squad, because we're not using either of these heroes. So one of the key things is we want to avoid using magic damage. Now, we're going to use, we've got a Lily May, Rainy, Mikola, Luca, and Harak. Now, Harak is the all-star here. He is going to give you the easiest way to clear. We can change up the formation. I was just testing something. Giving the shield to Mikola actually slows it down. And so basically what we want from Luca here is, why is he really good on this fight, is because he gains unaffected a lot, and his unaffected is really good. So he's always going to eat those Psychic Bolts, preventing the weed from picking off one of our primary heroes that we need to clear it. So without further ado, let's see it in action. So you see Luca there, he was unaffected, so he just runs right back over to the boss. Harak eats Mikola, no problem. But you can see the boss is already down to less than half health. He eats Lily May, not an issue. We can see Luca is eating all the bolts, because if Luca's not eating the bolts, it's gonna pick off one of our heroes. So Harak KFC to Luca, and it really doesn't matter. As long as Harak's alive at the end, you're good. Right, so if we look at the damage, it's all Harak here. He is the hero of this mode. Now you're probably wondering, how do I clear it if I don't have Harak? Now 7's a little difficult, and I've had a lot of issues on subsequent retries or rerunning it, but we don't want to run as many magic-based heroes. Now if you don't have newer heroes like Luca, you can substitute in Entendre. And I'll give you the squad that worked pretty decent for me that you may have. I didn't want to use too many new units, too many big units. So Florabelle's are really good here. We're going to use Valor Shield. Where's Marilee? And then we want Damien. Now, I wanted to use kind of like a squad that most people might have, and you may have these heroes built up. This is what I used to clear it on my second account, where my heroes aren't as strong, right? So Marilee's like a +5 because she dropped off, or a +10. Floribel's like a 10, Damien's like a 5, and Entendra's not even built. Now, this squad may not clear it and may take multiple tries to do it, but we'll see it in action here. And one of the things to note is all of Floribel's ads don't get ported up, so Floribel can almost always be damaging the boss. Sometimes a Lily May will evade the pop-up, and sometimes when Entendre ults, she gains unaffected, and she will evade it as well. So she'll work similar to Luca, just not as well as Luca. The problem with it is that sometimes when you get ported up here, that Entendre doesn't get ported up, can't re-aggro the mob, and it'll pick off one of our other heroes that is up in the air. But you could see a Floribel is doing really well here because her ads. But see, we got stuck up in the air the whole time. You need some luck with this one. Just because if you don't have that big physical damage dealer, like a Harak, you have to rely on someone like a Lily May. Otherwise, you can't get through it, and you need just to RNG it to get through 7. So you would have an easier time getting through like a difficulty 6. You have to go click on it. And we could rerun it on 6. And we could probably get it with this squad. It's just that 7 is the one that's really dicey. I will say this is probably one of the few times they released a new thing that was geared toward the new specific hero, which is nice. And we should get a clear here, just to show you how much. See, that's how much easier 6 is than 7. 7 is just that hard, so you need a lot of RNG if you don't have Harak. And that's it for this one. I wish you good luck in getting this cleared. I will drop a Heroic Gauntlet guide when that opens. This one is obviously a little bit more difficult than the past 2 we had, but I would say maybe on par with Walker. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Bye!